Yo.
All right, and the other way.
Hey. Oh. Hey. Hey. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Hey. Hey. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Hey. 1, 2. 1, 2. Hey. 1, 2. 1. Hey.
I got it all working an hour ago.
1, 2.
Perfect and working. Didn't need to be touched.
Except it was labeled wrong.
Fuck the label. The thing was working.
Yo. 1, 2. 1, 2. Hey. 1, 2. Hey. 1, 2.
Do you need like a loud monitor, Rich?
Probably because my drum is the loudest drum.
Okay. All right.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. You just let me
That's
know.
good. That's a simple answer.
Let's have a turn it up to 11. And then, hence the actual big rig, right?
Yeah.
It's just a. I like it. I haven't seen that for a while. The split amp.
Yeah, it's pretty effective when you don't have a real access to really good amps. Get a bigger sound, like.
Yeah.
You know, I could probably get the same sound from like a Fender Twin on 4 or 5, but I don't know.
Have that.
It's got a pretty booty bottom the way it is. Hey. That's a good monitor, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Who's in charge of the stage? Hey, Legends. Our harmonica player's not going to play the first track. He's going to play later on.
Yeah, no worries. So we just need some for him to play on.
He's going to have his own amp and harmonica.
He's here.
It's all right. There's a clink for him. 3 minutes.
There we go.
There's a mic for him.
Did you want to do me and Matt will do the first track and you do the...
I think he'll be ready. Just let him go.
Hands good. Steve, Danny.
Yep. Thumbs up.
Malachi good. Mike good.
Bars open.
Okay, recording.
Hey, that's my car spot. Oi, my car. Yes, babe. Yes, I know. Organic kale. Yes, I know. Almond milk. I'm just trying to park. Not the Milk Lab one. Yes, I know. I gotta go. Bye. Man, I need a beer. Getting hassled by the misso. That's probably why you got into acting, Steve, isn't it? So you could spend all this time on the road and away from the, domesticute of life.
That's exactly why I got into it. Yeah. So I could come up here and sit in a bar on a Friday.
Yeah, the old Walling bar.
Yeah.
Cheers,
nice.
mate.
Thank you so much.
This is Steve Bisley is here in town. There's a new movie out called Mad Max, which came out in 1979, but it still feels new.
Really?
Well, it's still just as relevant. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But something's happened there's been a couple of years.
It's been, what, 40 years? It's sort of like bookending your career, I guess. It all started with that in a way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, shall we?
So what do you say? It's all ending?
It's ending at Byron Bay Live in the Walling Bar.
That's right.
You start at the top with one of the most popular Australian movies, and you end up in a Byron Bay streaming TV show with one of Byron's iconic bands here as well, the Swamps, all wearing sunnies.
Right.
Should I just put on my sunnies too, and then it's just Steve feeling a little out of... Oh, he's got sunnies? Yeah, put on the sunnies.
Still shining as well.
Ew.
Nice.
We're here with one of Australia's iconic, coolest, most recognisable acting figures, Steve Bisley. Welcome to Byron.
Thank you so much.
Now, I know you've come up. There's a bit of a Mad Max screening tomorrow night at the Community Theatre, double feature. I guess you're still just as proud of that movie as ever. You're not sick of it.
It doesn't go away. It just never goes away.
It never goes away.
I was in Japan last year because Japanese fans are so hardcore. They all... I had to sign one guy's head because I signed his head with a pen, and then he came to the next convention and said, Steve, look. And he tattooed over the signature.
No, he tattooed
my signature on his head. Wow. Yeah, so they're hardcore.
That must have been painful.
And they're hardcore, so they're replicas of all the cars and the bikes, and they dress like you, and
Yeah, well, steampunk's obviously like a big fashion movement that sort of came out of Mad Max, really, didn't it? Like the whole Burning Man festival to me just seems like a Mad Max world.
Yeah,
when you have, you know, people go to that and
So
it's
I
like,
think George, back in the day when he first conceived the idea, it was all that dysfunctional world. Going forward, it was made for $350,000. So you can't get too dysfunctional.
That's
but
incredible.
even the new Mad Maxes is still that sort of wasteland, sort of, you know,
Yeah.
decayed society.
like most of Australia.
Like most of Australia, yeah, at the moment, absolutely.
And I guess Australia is one of the most, you know, inhabitable places in the world when you think of the whole middle part of it. So it was just kind of bringing to the life that, you know, I guess Priscilla, Queen of the Desert,
Sure.
kind of does that in a different way too as well.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like getting out there in the...
Yeah, crazy, wide open spaces. I'm flying to Perth on Monday from Sydney, and you fly 5 hours in a straight line.
Yeah.
And you look down, all it is red.
Just,
It's red, man.
You could have flown across Europe twice by
You
the time
could've,
you get to
yeah.
the other
Yeah.
side of the country.
Crazy.
And I love the story that you and Mel went to, you know, acting school together, and you're still really close mates, and you were this close maybe to being the lead role in Mad Max, is that
No,
right?
I was always going to be the goose.
Yeah, okay.
Always going to be the
But you brought Mel to
motorcycle
the audition.
No, there's a few. Look, tomorrow night I'm going to dispel all the rumours.
Oh, you can dispel them now if you want.
No, but I'm going to save some for tomorrow.
Okay.
But no, I didn't set his interview up. He was asked to come and read for Max. There was a few others that auditioned, but I think he always had the running on it. Seemed to me.
Yeah.
And I was always going to be the goose because I rode motorbikes, and that was my role as far as I was concerned. Yeah.
And I mean, you've done like a shitload of movies, you know. I mean, I actually, and TV shows, Water Rats, and I love Frontline was one of my favourite shows. Prowsy, yeah. So, like, do you find that when people bump into you that there's something that sticks in their head that you're the Water Rats guy, you're Prowsy, or you know, it's like you live in people's minds as a certain character, huh?
And the used car salesman from the Big Steel,
Oh yeah.
whose name was Gordon Farkas. So people go Gordon, people who say Gee Goose, or Gordon, or Prowsy.
So do you think you've kind of got that sort of vibe, that sort of kind of used car vibe that you could sort of sell ice to the Eskimos or something like that?
No, hopefully I can become that. I don't think I just exude that all the time.
Yeah. It's
But
it's a role.
it's a role. But Prowsy is one of my finest
Yeah?
moments. I love playing Prowsy.
Just love-
And Prowsy made that great word, soft cock. It's one of the most usable words. I'd be walking to rehearsal through Melbourne, because we shot it in Melbourne, and I'd be going to rehearsal, and the last episode would have been the night before. I'd be going past building sites, there'd be guys up on the scaff going, "Hey, Prowsy, only 5 softcocks last night." That's great.
And I really brought to the forefront that whole sort of, like you said, like that EP kind of character who just kind of bullies his staff in a way that you just couldn't get away with in this day and
I'd
age.
work with EPs like Prowsy and the Working Dog people who made the show. We had this crazy lunch before I came onto the show, and we just told stories about EPs we'd work with. And so out of that lunch, Prowsy came. So you had the bad shirts and the jeans that were too tight and the cowboy boots and
Smoking fags in
smoking fags and
wherever you want.
the bad hair and the bad tan.
Yeah. Is it a bit sad that that kind of Australian kind of character can't really exist anymore? Like
There's
you
still
can't-
some of them hanging on in commercial television.
Yeah.
They're around, but but they're a dying breed. Maybe that's a good thing.
It's the Friday knockoff, and Steve's come up here for a little holiday. Just heard all the other celebs were in town, and
I did.
the whole Maroons.
Thought I'd buy a house or two while I'm up here, but apparently there's none available.
No, you got to get in line, mate. Get in line.
Thank God. Yeah. Yeah, I saw a caravan for 800,000 the other day at Ewingsdale. Yeah, I'll pick
that's
it.
pretty
I'll
good.
get it.
Yeah,
I'll get it.
800,000.
Might
Four
be,
berths.
might be Swanee's caravan.
Yeah, could be.
You can rent out a couple of rooms in the caravan to some English language students.
I'll
And,
take Steve on any night, mate. He's a bloody legend.
yeah.
Free
Beautiful.
for Steve if he ever comes to
Mate, good eh?
Well, that's why we've got the Swamps here, because they're also kind of like that. It's like if there was a modern day Mad Max movie set in the outback of Byron, I'm pretty sure you'd play the Tina Turner Tina Turner role in the movie, maybe, you know?
Oh, mate, I'm happy to go there.
Simply the best. Yeah, absolutely.
It's actually one of my favourite songs, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
I remember when I was a kid and I watched the grand finals with the Canberra Raiders. Tina Turner and that black lycra.
Yeah.
It was just sensational.
Yeah.
Yeah, back at the night.
And
And
footy
yeah.
was good.
Yeah, it was real. It was bring back the
Bloody
biff.
awesome.
Bring back the
Blood
biff.
noses, you name it.
back the
It was Mad
biff.
Max and that, you know.
Bring back Prowsey and the briff, you know?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might let Steve enjoy a bit of ear-shattering swamp rock from the Swamps, who've recently sort of come back into the scene after their kind of COVID hideout. I know you've been touring with Pete Murray, Matt, and keeping busy, and Swanee's got his own single stuff, and don't know much about Ali. He's just rolled in with his harmonica.
With a lot of harmonicas. He's got a box of harmonicas here.
Ready to roll, and yeah, I know you guys are recording some original music now, which is exciting. You've been playing for how long have you guys been playing for around Byron? Like, must be nearly
6 years.
6 years. That's pretty long for a Byron band.
We turned it all around. We've just been playing our own music, pretty much,
Yeah. So
since COVID hit.
you got sick of people requesting like, play Summer of '69, play some
We
whatever.
wouldn't really do that at our shows. They'd be more like, tequila! Tequila!
So yeah, we're going to hear some original Swamp stuff tonight. Is that the plan?
Yeah, we're going to play a song called We Like to Move first.
Sick.
Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we booked you guys for here in the Walling Bar.
All right, here we
All
go.
right, baby.
Legends.
We like to move, we like to ride, we like to move, we like to ride. We like to move, we like to ride, we like to move, we like to ride. Come on with me into the sea, we can be free. Come on with me, yeah, yeah. We like to move, we like to ride, we like to move. lights around. Come on with me into the trees. We can be free. Come on with me, baby.
Whoa! Wow!
Fantastic.
Shit.
Holy dooly.
That's what
Every-
working on, boys.
It's music you can feel in your body, that's
Oh,
for sure.
sort of. Yeah.
I think Steve Bisley's got a new favourite band.
Oh,
I was-
that's my new favourite band. I'm buying that caravan up here. Damn it.
You can have the album for free if you buy the caravan.
Okay, yeah, great. It's great, guys.
Right, it's
Sensational.
it's been a weird year. Just even hearing live music just makes me feel so good. Just like being this close to it is maybe dangerous for my health, but you know,
Fabulous.
you guys just left it all on the floor there, which is what we expect.
We just started.
We'll be honest, like we really miss playing in Byron. And it's such a great opportunity to play for our local community today. And whoever else listens to it, like we're stoked to be here, brother. So thank you for inviting us.
And I think you made the right call.
Yeah.
I think the Swamps is going to go next level now. You know, like you've obviously been tight as a band for ages, but that was sick.
Cheers, brother.
Can't really hear at the moment, but you know. This is the Friday knockoff. Hope everybody's had a great
So
week
good.
out there. It's getting warm out in Byron. Things are getting wild, but we're hanging with Mr. Cool Steve Bisley here, Jim Goose from Mad Max. And yeah, he's up here with, we're showing the Mad Max couple of movies tomorrow at the Community Theatre, thanks to Movie Paradise.
And we're going to do a Q&A, so people want to come along and ask the
Yeah,
questions.
so I might have to rewatch the movie tomorrow and you can tell us what it's like being on that set with...
Sure.
I mean, was there a lot of... When you did that movie, like you said, it was like George Miller's first kind of big breakout movie and a small budget. And did you have any idea at the time that it was going to take off?
Nobody did. And we made it, and then there was a long edit period where they were really careful about the edit. I think the edit went over a year. So I was on other gigs. Then we all got invited to the premiere in Melbourne, in Burke Street Cinemas in Melbourne. I remember going in, sitting on the road with Mel and Hugh Keys Burns and the other actors, and it started, and I just went, oh, Jesus. I mean, it was like watching, wasn't like watching me, it was like watching some other dude in it.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. And the effect with the audience, there were guys doing burnouts outside the movies after the show. I went to the drive-ins and they had to put cop cars outside the drive-ins because people that come out of the drive-ins is like cranked. And they'd be smoking it up in the streets.
Like we needed any more of an excuse to be hooligans back in the early 80s.
Went off, man. Yeah.
And so, like you said, George had a thing about, you know, not using special... I mean, there were special effects around at that stage, but he just wanted it all to be...
Yeah, so there was no CGI like there is now, no computer-generated stuff. So all the stunts were done, you know, we did... I did a lot of fast riding, but obviously not the stunts, but...
So you already rode motorbikes in that,
Yeah.
that point, yeah. So riding a motorbike out in the desert, wearing...
Well, we weren't in the desert. Mad Max 1 was made predominantly in Melbourne and around Melbourne, up towards Geelong. There was a lot of wide open roads out there, but it wasn't until Mad Max 2 that they shot in Broken Hill when it got real, you know, sort of deserty. But but that sense of sort of desolation is in the first one. That sense of something that's collapsed, you know, something that's sort of out of whack a bit.
And I like the idea that it sort of says a lot about human nature, the Mad Max films, about what happens when the society
Breaks
loses,
down,
breaks down, and who rises to the top. And,
a bit like what's happening.
well,
what's going on now.
yeah, you know, it brings out the best and worst out of everyone.
Yeah, it does.
And water, I guess, is a big part of Australia. And
water and then petrol, and you know, how do you move around if
it's
you
like
haven't
the
got
things
fuel,
that become
fuel
important.
becomes gold, and you know, all that stuff. And then you got the marauding gangs, and you know.
And I think the modern Mad Max, where it becomes about the breeders and the women being the currency, it kind of creeped me out a little bit.
A little bit. And the war boys who just want to, you know, war it up all the time. It's like,
Yeah.
But the new Mad Maxes are very different from, you know, the 70s and 80s ones we did back then. That's a whole leap to these ones. Yeah.
And as far as you and your acting career, like, I mean, so one of your best mates, Mel's, kind of done a lot of stuff in Hollywood, and you obviously have as well. But you know.
No, I stayed here basically.
Yeah, okay. I thought that like you know, a lot of the movies must have been made overseas, but
no, I made here predominantly.
Really, predominantly.
Yeah,
okay, cool. Sorry, I got that
here.
wrong.
But I didn't want.
What was that? What was that about? Was that just not wanting to relocate to?
Oh, I went and stayed with Mel when he'd first gone over there. And he's American, so he's effectively going home. He was raised here, but his family emigrated to Australia when he was in his teens. So when he went over with Lethal Weapon and stuff, he was effectively going home. And I went and stayed, and I saw his agent, and they said, if you stay, we could pretty well guarantee you'd work here. But I thought LA was a complete shithole. I still do. My apologies to all the visiting overseas actors that now live in Byron Bay. But
well, they're over here for a reason, I guess. I think they agree with you.
I just thought it was a bit of a toilet. So, but I wanted to tell the stories here, you know.
Yeah.
And it's been good. It's been good.
And what are some of your other favourite, like, Australian actors that came out of that sort of generation? You know, like you got your Brian Browns and, like, you know.
Yeah, Brownie. Before us, there was, you know, Jack Thompson. He was a little sort of generation before us.
Yeah.
So there was, Brian, Jack Thompson, people like Max Cullen, a lot of really good actresses too came out of the period. But but it's a pretty small pond here. So if you can manage to keep working, it's a bit of an art in itself.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as like moving between TV shows and movies, what do you prefer? Is it? I like it all.
And I do theatre as well.
Yeah.
But television's really fast. I mean, I did Water Rats for 3 years, and that was like 14-hour days, 6 days a week, and you never stop talking, and you go in with swags and scripts to learn.
And I guess you see the same people every day, day in, day out. So you have to, get along with a lot of different people.
And furious, yeah. It's a bit more relaxed on the film. You get a little bit more time to do stuff, so it's all different, but I love it all.
And I hear you've been getting a bit of writing recently. So
I've published 2 books, and I'm on my 3rd, so...
Still Water...
Still Ways.
Still Ways, which is based on your life growing up in a farm.
Yeah, that's my childhood memoir, and then All the Burning Bridges is my adult memoir, and now I'm writing my first novel.
Writing your first novel. And we were sort of chatting before, you're pretty fond of Australian kind of...
Writers.
Yeah.
Especially the current crop, there's some fantastic writers.
Yeah. Who's it saying, like that Trent Dalton one?
Yeah.
Do you like Flanagan?
I do, yeah. I like have you read his new one?
No.
Yeah, it's great.
I've read some of his old stuff.
Yeah. But the Booker Prize was The Narrow Road to the Deep North. It's a great book. Great book. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone thinks like Tim Winton.
Yeah, Tim's pretty prolific too.
And I mean, even just reading in general, do you find that there's a sort of struggle to capture people's younger minds sort of attention spans these days because everybody
It's a challenge.
is consuming things
It's a challenge, and they say because of these, the kids aren't laying down the memory paths that they used to, you know. So they don't stick with, you know, books take too long.
No, my attention span's rooted, eh? Like, I love reading, but the more that I look on my smartphone, you know, the harder it
less you
is to
wanna-
just stay into a book
I know.
without, like, checking it.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Feel sorry for kids these days that just have so many different things distracting them.
Yeah, true.
What about you with, like, as a parent and stuff, do you have any, like, restrictions on your
Yeah,
bringing up?
absolutely.
Yeah?
On these,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Because there's so many screens at school they have, you know, that they have computers in the classroom. And my son, who's 15, my youngest kid is 15, and half his work at school is on screens. And then he's got one of these, and then he comes home and, you know, he contacts his mates. So hours and hours of staring at this
Yeah,
stuff.
and you're like, unless
This
I'm
is
on the
crazy.
screen, I don't want you
You're not
looking at it.
watching it.
Yeah.
That's right. It's okay if I'm on, you can watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got other kids that have moved into the entertainment industry
No,
and
they're
stuff?
all too clever.
Yeah.
All too clever.
You weren't ever like a soccer dad kind of pushing him in?
I was the soccer dad for soccer, but
Yeah.
I wasn't pushing anyone into this work. No.
What do you think you would have gone into if you didn't, you know, if it didn't work out with acting and stuff?
Jail. Jail.
All right, well, I guess it worked out well, didn't
Yeah,
it?
they worked out pretty well.
Although you can still end up in jail if you're a celebrity.
Well,
but-
the thing is, you know, I've never had a real job, so, but I get to play at jobs, you know. I've been a lot of things. I've played a lot of cops, I don't know why, but police rescue, you know, so I've saved people. Water
Yeah.
rats save people, protecting people. It seemed on water rats that anyone had committed a crime in Sydney tried to escape by boat. Do you know that? We had
Why
so
not?
much crime on the harbour, it was like out of control.
It's like Baywatch or something, everybody's
But
just
I
like
have
down
played
on the
a lot
beach.
of policemen, you know, Mad Max, another cop,
Yeah.
loads of cops.
Well, I guess, you know, that is the thing that happens with actors getting typecast in some ways, isn't it? Like, you know.
Yeah, well, I think because of the Goose character in the first Mad Max film, I had this sort of action guy for a while when I was younger. So producers see you do one thing like that works, and then they want to cast you as that, you know. So I get this sort of action-y dudes.
So what are you doing? What sort of stuff gets pushed your way these days with, you know, the agent and that?
Oh, it's still pretty diverse. I'm not just playing the old bastard. It's been pretty good.
You can do a good old bastard.
I just did a thriller set on in this beautiful old farmhouse up in the Hunter, and that's pretty cool. So it'll be out next year.
Is it complicated these days because there's so many different streaming sort of platforms and like so much different, you know, options, I guess, of like what you do with like.
That can only be good in terms of for actors for more work for us. I mean, Stan's that Australian streaming company there. Netflix is spending money here, so
A lot of stuff in the Northern Rivers now too. There's
I believe so. You guys are like going off up here, right?
Yeah.
It's become the film.
Yeah, we're all going to
mecca
move
of
into
Australia.
acting and stuff, aren't we? Like, yeah. They're just knocking at all our doors. They're like, yeah.
Yeah. After this, they'll be just here. Won't they? They'll be just ringing you. Yeah.
Absolutely. We're here at Byron Bay Live. This is the Walling Bar with Steve Bisley. We've still got tickets for sale tomorrow at the Community Theatre to see Mad Max 1 and 2. There's a special cocktail thanks to Brookies called the Mad Mac, which is going to be part of your ticket. And Steve will be there. We'll be doing this sort of thing as well in between the movies. But the Swamps won't be there, unfortunately.
Dang.
They're just here tonight. Where will you guys be next or in the future?
We've got a couple of private parties. We're playing it next, and there's a couple of possibilities of us playing in town on New Year's Eve, but it's not confirmed yet. But hopefully it comes through in the next few days. But we might be playing in town on New Year's Eve.
Just somewhere in town, just in general.
Location X.
One of our favourite venues.
How many people allowed at venues now up here?
We don't really know because we've decided not to play live till people can dance again.
No dancing still?
No dancing at the moment, so hopefully we're just kind of just waiting a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's admirable. That's like making a stand.
I've been told to use a microphone. Who would want to give me a microphone? Yeah, so basically, hopefully we are playing in Byron, hopefully soon. But with the Swamps, we love the community dancing behind what we do.
Yeah,
We're not
of
just going to
course.
play for a seated
Right.
audience. So we decided to dig deep and work on an album, an
What-
originals album.
Do you know that what's the thinking behind no dancing? I mean, if you're sitting around, you're still breathing on
I don't
people.
think there is much thinking, Steve.
It's
I
not,
think it's
is
all
it?
about
Really?
rehearsal somehow.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I went to see a mate
Yeah,
play.
50,000 people at the Origin, but you're not allowed 40 people on a dance
Yeah, and
floor.
I come on a plane up here that's full to the brim and no one's got a mask on. Except me. It's like crazy.
We've been working on another song called "Do What You Got to Do," and that kind of fits that kind of vibe. Maybe like everybody's just gonna do what they think is
Sure.
necessary or is the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's different for everybody.
we're
though.
not. Yeah, we can't be robots, can we?
And it's funny
No.
when people when they try to homogenize it too. It doesn't work either.
No.
Variety's the spice of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't let the Kung Flu bring us down. I just heard that term today from Steve, the Kung Flu. So,
I heard it from Donald J. Trump,
oh, good on
who's
Trump.
not leaving the house.
Nah,
apparently.
he just reminds me of like
He's in
those.
lockdown.
He reminds me of like you know the.
Sorry, he's in permanent lockdown.
It's just like wrestling, you know, like the professional wrestlers. Like he just
Yeah.
reminds me of a
He
character
looks like
from
a
like
professional wrestler,
yeah.
doesn't
Once upon a time, he was on the wrestling show. Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, he was a part of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he
right.
a
Of course he
manager?
was. Of course he was.
Maybe.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Crazy.
I feel like that's all just professional wrestling, politics. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's just all like this theatre, the
Yeah.
absurd.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's not get too deep into conspiracy
No.
theories while
No,
the
no.
swamps are sitting there. And
But should be more dancing.
Yeah, that's it.
what we
That's
need,
it,
more
Steve.
dancing.
That's right.
More dancing, baby.
all right, this is the swamps here live at Byron Bay Live, the Walling Bar. Woo!
We're going to play our song next called Sweet Spot. We want to dedicate this to our friend Matt Slattery, who was one of the fallen friends of this year. So this goes out to you, Slattery. This is Sweet Spot, and we made this song in his memory. Yeah. We're at. We don't have too much time, baby, to go. I can't believe, baby, we don't have much time to go. And I don't want to go on anymore. Doesn't want me gone. Sometimes I'm thinking that I'm raising chains and anything could slip me. So we go looking out for that sweet spot. Sweet spot, yeah. We keep on hanging on. When will peace on earth have more sway than money or blood? When will peace on earth, yeah, have more sway than power, money or blood? still go out looking for that sweet spot. Sweet spot.
Whoa!
Yeah, the Swamps here at the Whirling Bar. I don't know why we should be probably like protecting our ears rather than our eyes in here. I think that probably would have been the more practical thing, but for some reason we're all like wearing sunglasses. I don't know how that happened. Yeah, but...
Fantastic, guys.
Yeah, you enjoying yourself, Steve?
Yeah, I'm having the best time. I'm having the best time at a small corrugated place.
Yeah.
In a suburb I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just agreed to just do whatever.
That's cool.
But yeah, I don't know. Do people often expect you to be like a bit sort of more intimidating?
Nicer.
Well, you're a nice guy, but often people, you know, when you meet people that have, you know, have a persona that they portray in films and stuff, you're a bit taken back when they're like just a really normal kind of nice
you think?
dude.
Yeah, right.
You know,
yeah,
like,
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What's Mel like as a person, you know? Like,
Good guy, great guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hasn't it changed at all because of his...
Look, I think it's a harder place to work. I mean, I was talking about Los Angeles before, but I think you're under the microscope there because it's such a business town, you know.
Yeah.
It's all about the movies. So everybody knows it seems
Was
everyone
that
knows
part of the
everyone's
reason why you
business.
stayed away? You thought you might end up in a bit of trouble if you were in that sort of
I just didn't like
microscope?
the whole place. And it seemed to be, egos were just rampant. You know, you go and see agents and it's all about, there's so much ego being trotted out around the place that just,
Yeah.
I can't do that
Well,
one, so.
was there any kind of role or any, you know, role you auditioned for that you didn't get that you still sort of wish that you had got, you know, any sort of regrets or anything like that?
No, all the ones I wanted I got.
Really?
So I'm really happy
Nice
about
one.
it. And some that I didn't know I was going to get, I got too. So there's not one that I think, oh shit, you know.
Yeah?
I wanted that I wanted the motorcycle cop in that first film, and I thought no one else is going to get this.
Yeah.
So
I mean, well, the fact that you showed up here in this random, like you said, corrugated iron place
in
that
a
you didn't know
suburb, I
about.
don't know.
Just,
I
yeah.
went past a pie place, but
It's a pie place?
there's a pie
There
place.
is a pie, well, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
You noticed the pie place?
I saw the pie place up the road.
Yeah. You're obviously quite easygoing, you know, quite
Yeah,
easygoing.
yeah.
You're not sort of motivated by, like, the biggest possible role you can get and, like, you know.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, but I like I like doing what I do.
Yeah.
But it's no big deal, you know. It's just
It's a job.
I like to work. I like being involved in what I do.
Yeah.
But it's not about ego. It can't be about ego because that's bullshit. So
Yeah.
let's try and play that down and just.
Do you think that's part of the Australian kind of tall poppy syndrome thing?
I'm sure it is,
Yeah.
and that's why I think Australian actors and crews and musos do well internationally because of that very thing. We just don't do the bullshit here, you know. And if you work with Australian film crews, everyone pitches in. Where if you're I worked in the UK for the BBC for 2 years. If someone from the lighting department picked up a sound bag from the sound department,
Yeah.
there'd be unions. There'd be a walkout. Same in the States. Where here we just all pitch in.
Yeah.
You know, I've been on films in the catering van helping the guy chop up lettuce before lunch. You know, that's what happens. And I'm sure even our most shining stars do that. You know, it's part of what we do.
Do you think someone like Heath Ledger, you know, like when someone like that passes so young, does it affect you personally? Like,
Yeah. I met him. I wouldn't say I was a close friend, but I'd met him on a few occasions. What an absolute shock that was, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember him in Breakback. What an extraordinary film. And what an extraordinary
that's inspired
performance.
Swanee's life, Breakback Mountain. He's still trying to.
Someone was going to run with that.
find
I just knew it.
Well, he likes his horse riding. I'm not sure.
I like my horse ride.
You like bareback horse riding as well, don't you?
Yeah, I like to be at the saddle, mate, but I definitely love my ladies. Love
Yeah.
the ladies.
Shout out to the ladies
Shout
out
out
there.
to the ladies.
Rockin'.
Yep.
Rockin'.
But you know, but I think that's great about Australia and Australians is that we just don't do the bullshit.
Have you got like a top 5 Australian movies of all time?
Most everything I've done.
Yeah. Okay. What about movies that don't
It's all
involve
about
Steve
ego.
Bisley?
Most everything I've done.
What movies are the most iconic Australian movies
That
for you?
don't star me.
That don't have Steve Bisley in them.
It's not many. It's not
No,
worth mentioning.
no,
really.
that's true.
Wake in Fright, I think, is an extraordinary film. I think it's on Stan or one on Netflix maybe. And it goes back a bit. I think it was maybe shot in the 60s. It's extraordinary.
Okay, I don't think
It's
I've seen that.
beautifully crafted and great story.
Well, so you like thrillers?
I do.
Yeah.
But it uses the Australian landscape really effectively. It's again sort of outback, wide open space thing that we seem to do so well here.
Yeah. So I've always felt like with a lot of Australian movies, there's almost, it seems to be like a little bit, with slight criticism, like an over focus on like the dark side of Australian culture, like the drugs and the like, it seems to be like we sort of like to put ourselves out there, like, you know, like all, you know, even like Two Hands.
Two
and
Hands,
then,
I was
you know,
thinking about Two Hands when you said, yeah.
What is it? Animal Kingdom. It's a great movie,
Yeah.
you know, but
Sure.
it seems like a lot of our best movies do involve like the gritty, dark side of life, like the underbelly.
Yeah,
kind of
because
thing.
that's drama, isn't it? That's why they make shows about, you know, police and crime and stuff, because it's instant drama.
Yeah,
So,
is that about the Australian, the way we consume stuff in Australia? We like the gritty underbelly kind of
Well,
stuff.
I think that's
or-
true of every culture. If you look at American movies too, there's
Yeah.
loads of that stuff going on.
There's not a lot of Australian rom-coms though, is there? We haven't put out a lot of that kind of
I
stuff.
think we tried them, and then I think we suck at them, so we just went, oh, let's kill some more people. We're good at that.
Let's kill some more people.
Yeah, rom-coms, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not great.
We just can't
They're
take
not
it
great,
seriously enough. There's not enough Hugh Grants in Australia, I guess. I don't know.
That's true.
We've got Swanee.
We got 20.
Yeah. He's a bit of a ladies' man. Aren't you, Swanee? Nah, more like just chuck him in the back of the caravan and...
But when's the Byron Bay story going to be made? Surely there's stuff up here that you could plumb.
Oh, There is an
Must be, you got it all. You got
Do you think
surf,
there's enough in the
intrigue and-
underbelly of Byron Bay for a movie, a feature film about? What about the anti-vaxxers versus the yuppies?
I did a show.
That'd
up
be a
here.
good thing, like a Mad Max, like the anti-vaxxers just going lawless off into the hills.
Yeah.
And then the yuppies like all barricading themselves in their fancy houses.
Yeah.
And the vaxxers coming in with like, flames and pitchforks and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Motorbikes and pitchforks. And
What do you think about all of that
Fire.
sort of, this area and, the proliferation of like conspiracy sort of stuff, anti-5G, anti-vax,
it's big up here, right?
I guess, apparently. According to the media, the Daily Telegraph, the Daily Mail.
But I was speaking to a woman in the street who was an American woman. I was putting some stuff in a charity bin because I was cleaning out my apartment. And,
Where is that charity bin? I want to go check it out.
and I was putting stuff in. She went, "Oh, do you have other things in your car?" And I said, "Oh, so where are you from?" And she said, "New York." And I said, "Oh, well, shame what's going on in New York." And she said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "With the COVID thing, you're up to about 250,000 people died." "Oh, that's a conspiracy," she said. "They're lying about that. There's
How is that
hardly any people have died." I went, "I'm sorry." And she went, "No, that's a conspirity. Hardly any people have died."
Well, you got to blame that on the algorithms. I was listening to I mean...
And they firmly believe it. She firmly believe it.
Yeah. Oh, no, it is. I was listening to the podcast with Joe Rogan today and Trent, one of the guys from The Social Dilemma, and the algorithms really are responsible for the way that our worldview is created now.
Sure.
If you look at one video of something,
Sure.
you're going to get recommended 100 videos of that.
Yeah.
And because that is the stuff that gets into people's attention span,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. So we consume fake news like it's fact these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not so much in Australia. Do you think Australians have a better bullshit detector, do you think, than other countries in some ways?
I think so, yeah. But I couldn't believe her reaction was that it was all lies. There hadn't been 250,000 people had died. That was just fake.
So you don't believe in the lizard people and the...
No, I don't quite believe the
Nah.
lizard people.
No, you got your head sort of screwed on. What about the swamps? Have you guys got any good conspiracy theories for us? Do you want to, illuminate us on what's really going on behind the curtain?
Just do music, man.
Yeah.
More dancing.
We're not going to murk it. We're not going to get murky like that.
Okay.
Some reverb on the top.
I think one thing that I guess from our heart as a
This one is
response.
going to get murky.
Yeah,
I'll
good.
get murky.
Get murky. We've got 5
But,
minutes before your last song, so keep going.
I want to say that through all what we've gone through, we've all just got to stick together and love each other, and that is the best cure. And all the media and all that shit, man, let's just fucking love each other and be together and support each other. Because, I've lost one of my best mates to suicide, and I just want us to come together and love. That's it. That is the cure. Love is the cure. LOVE. That's it.
Amen.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
it. And here comes a song all about it.
Yeah.
All right, well, can you, play for 10 minutes?
Nah.
All right. Well, just calm the farm for 5
We
minutes.
can do 10. We'll do 10 on one song. There you go.
We'll chat for a few more minutes and then you guys can... Sorry to ruin the segue. I know that was a good build-up into the song.
Nice.
But let's just talk for 5 minutes about mental health a little bit.
Okay.
Because it is a big deal. This year has been hard on a lot of,
Sure enough.
you've got sons,
Yeah, sons and daughters.
what can we do to help sort of get
So-
people full of love like Swanee's talking about?
I'm actually raising money to ride a motorbike around Australia for
Awesome.
suicide prevention.
Amazing.
And we were originally going last July, but because of the lockdown everywhere, we couldn't go. So we put it off till the end of January. It might push back a little bit further because that's a wrong time of year to be jumping on a motorbike.
Pretty
to
hot.
ride 16,000
What's the route you're going to go?
So the original intention was to leave Sydney, a big launch out of Sydney, and then we'd go up the East Coast, up to Cairns, then across to Darwin, and then down through Broome, down to Perth, to Albany, across to Esperance and across the bottom.
Huge.
Adelaide, in Melbourne, then we dive down to do Tasmania and then come back and then go up the East Coast and finish up at a big do in Canberra, so all the pollies get it.
Yeah.
And then
Who's going on the trip?
So I'm on the bike.
Yeah.
We've got a support crew of about
Swanee will go.
10. We've got a support crew of about 10.
I'll come, brother. I just got a DR650. Will that make it? Suzuki.
Ride anything you
On-road,
like,
off-road.
right? So many people want to ride it, so we could end up
It's
with
amazing.
a lot of people. But to raise awareness for suicide prevention, because where I live in North Bondi, near Vaucluse, it's quite close to the cliffs along the eastern side of Sydney. There's a lot of people go. And through COVID, the numbers just increased manyfold.
Yeah, what do you think?
really
What do you
sad,
think's the
man.
main contributing factors these days to?
Just pressure, man.
Yeah.
Perceived pressure. People are just stressed. And you put a lockdown on top of that, things like less work around, maybe the uncertainty of a lot of things, and then you put a lockdown on top of that with this virus thing. And I think it just exacerbated the problem of people being confined for as long as they were. Just made it worse.
Oh, good on you, Steve. Round of applause for Steve. That's awesome. So, is that officially happening? Can people get behind that and raise money
There's
and
a
stuff?
GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
If they just put my name on the GoFundMe site, it'll come. All the deets will come up.
Legend.
Yeah. So and the fundraising will start once the ride starts. The main fundraising.
Yeah.
Because we're doing events along the way, different towns and cities to raise awareness for suicide preventions.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Because it's a subject we still don't talk about enough.
yeah, it's true, isn't it?
Because once people can unburden themselves by talking about it, the more you talk about it, and I've been through some dark times, I know what it's like, and the more you talk, the better it is, you know.
That's awesome.
And but people get locked down with it. They think nobody's going to understand, and that just makes the situation worse. And that's why our You OK Day was created. All that stuff about just having the conversation, you know.
And I think people they might even look at you and go, wow, you're this big name actor. Surely you've got everything you could ever want in the world. But we all suffer, don't we? Doesn't matter who you are.
Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter who you are. Yeah. And no one's, doesn't respect money or power or position, this thing. No.
No. Wow. Sort of gone from a little bit of a, kind of gone into a different space here, but I'm so glad that we brought that up and we found out that you were doing that.
Yeah,
And
so people do want to contribute. At
Yeah.
the moment, there's a GoFundMe page. Yeah.
Yeah, and it has been. It's been a tough year for everyone. Hopefully there's a light at the end of the tunnel and that, but it's all about, your mates and
Sure.
reaching out and not, this whole masculine thing of having to
Being tough and silent, nah.
Yeah. It's going to be a long road still, I think, for us to get over that kind of masculinity stuff. But, there are men's groups out there and there are, places you can kind of go to, just talk and...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're going to finish off this evening with another Swamp song, which we nearly did, but we just stopped for a sec because we want to finish exactly at 6 o'clock because the bar shuts at 6, so we want to make the most of the bar being open. It's been a huge honour and a great pleasure to have Australian acting royalty in the building.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Steve Bisley is here.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
And if you want to see Steve again, he'll be at the Byron Community Theatre tomorrow. So double Mad Max special showing tomorrow night. Get tickets from the Community Theatre. And big thanks to the Swamps for joining us here in the Welling Bar.
Thank you,
Fantastic, guys.
All right, take us out, lads.
me. I can't believe what you do to me. Get you off my mind, baby. I can't get you off my mind. Get you off my mind. I can't get you off. Get you off my mind. I can't get you off. Get you off my mind, baby, baby. You're so fine on my mind. What you doing to the baby? I can't believe what you do to me, baby, 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 baby. So fine on my mind, thinking what you do to me. I can't get you out, get you out my mind, baby, 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 baby. Know what you doing? You pop my mind. Get you off 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 my mind.
Yeah, boys. Fuck yeah. So sick. So sick. That's epic. Whoa.
Whoa.